Yo. Welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the reveal of Kyrie Irving's ANTA signature shoe, the arrival of the Jumpman Jack, the week's hottest releases, and of course, a Hard Pass. All right, let's start with some hot takes. And actually, there's just two this week, and it involves Kyrie Irving and Travis Scott. Let's start with Kyrie Irving and the on-card debut of his first signature shoe with ANTA. It will be called the ANTA Kai 1, and I gotta say, it's a good one of those. And by one of those, I mean it's a good-looking hooping shoe from a brand that has traditionally gotten very little attention in the US. This is despite the fact that ANTA has endorsed legit NBA stars past and present, like Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, and Klay Thompson. But as we all know, Kai is different. Between his magnetic personality, dynamic skill set, and boundless creativity, he has carved a niche in the NBA fandom that even more accomplished contemporaries like former Brooklyn and Nike teammate Kevin Durant just can't seem to match. So when he departs Nike for reasons that we won't get into because it's exhausting and we're just tired of it all, his fans are going to follow. And now we're here with the ANTA Kai 1, and again, it's a good one of those. It looks like what Nike would have done had they decided to iterate on the Nike Kyrie 6 some more. Like, replace that brilliantly placed ANTA logo with the swoosh, and I'd say this could have been the Nike Kyrie 7. The question now is, will a good one of those that has Kai name on it be enough for ANTA to finally make a dent in the US hoops market? If we were to judge this reveal solely on social response, these are the greatest basketball shoes since the Air Jordan 11. That's how hard Kai's fans go for their guy. But will that actually translate to sales? It can't hurt, and we're definitely going to get a pair in here at some point to unbox and discuss for sure. Two things I'm hoping for: that these are a success and Kai opens the American sneakerheads' eyes to designs and brands that are out of the norm of Nike, Jordan, and Adidas, and that Kai does not utter the phrase, "these are good to wear on and off the court." In the long history of Kai saying a lot of things when it comes to his sneakers, that would probably be the wildest one yet. Speaking of wild, let's talk about the resale prices on those Jordan Jumpman Jacks, Travis Scott's first Jordan signature shoe. Like, people are really asking $3,000 for these Team Jordans? Yeah. You wouldn't catch me paying $300 for these, let alone $3,000. Let's be honest here. I like the Jumpman Jacks. I think they're pretty solid and easy enough pair of sneakers to wear to just about any casual affair. The colorway, versatile. The midfoot strap, very creative recreation circa 2010, and I mean that as a compliment. The Travis Scott endorsement, well, that's the only thing preventing these from hitting outlet stores in a few months. And even that is a little shaky because look at the reception and subsequent resale prices of non-Air Jordan Cactus Jacks like the Air Max 270 React and the Mac Attack. Not exactly earth-shattering stuff, huh? But look at the Cactus Jacks 4s or the Fragment 1 lows. Still moving briskly and at a premium price, no less. If the Jordan Jumpman Jacks was just another retro-inspired Team Jordan like the Jordan Legacy 312 or the Stadium 90 or the Delta SP and then got a Travis collab, everybody will be trying their best to get excited for them like the Air Max 270 React and the Mac Attack. But because it was designated a Travis signature shoe from the jump, the narrative is different. Anyways, I'll try to grab a pair for an unboxing, hopefully. Meanwhile, I wonder if the friends and family pair will have the swoosh actually facing the right way. That would be wild. Before we get to the pick of the week, we just want to acknowledge the reveal of the late Kobe Bryant statue outside of Staples Center this past week. It's still surreal to think that Kobe now has a statue after having watched his entire career, and it's even more surreal that he and Gigi are not with us to celebrate the moment. There's really not much more to say than Mamba forever, y'all. And that he probably has the most days named after him in the history of history. There's the original Mamba Day, which was April 13, 2016, the date of his final game. Then there's August 24th to celebrate his 2 jersey numbers, but also August 23rd because that's his birthday. And now we have 2/8/24 for Gigi and Kobe. Yeah, he can have all the days. I think everybody in LA and probably everywhere else would be cool with that. All right, let's move on. For the pick of the week, the NBA All-Star sneakers, this is February 13th to the 17th, and there is a ton. Look, Next week is NBA All-Star Weekend, and we are getting what appears to be a return to glory with a number of high-profile signature shoes set to release. Along with the usual All-Stars, there's like LeBron, KD, Giannis, and others. We've also got what Adidas hopes will be the first of many All-Star AEs, the first GR colorway of the Nike Book 1, the actual launch of the Air Jordan 4 Reimagined Bread, a very creative 3-pack from Nike Basketball, a wild Cheetos and Puma collab, an equally wild Porsche and LaMelo collab, and the long-awaited return of the Nike KD4 Galaxy. There's a lot of sneakers. I hope you guys have saved up your money. If you want to find out more details on all of those sneakers, make sure you check out the main channel. Heat Check goes live around the same time this show goes live. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass. We'll take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like toxic fandom. Let's just stop being fans of things, okay? Let's all just casually enjoy stuff, have fun, disagree with creative choices in a civilized manner, and then log off. Yeah, I know toxic fandom has been a problem since the dawn of time, but the past 10 days has just been a cesspool of stupid that happened to intersect with a few things that we love here on Hard Pass: sneakers, gaming, and wrestling. Now, don't mistake this segment for me saying we should stop caring about silly things. In their own ways, sneakers, gaming, and wrestling are our escapes from the real world BS. Every day, we all should take time to decompress, turn off our brains, and watch our show Hard Pass, or play a goofy JRPG such as Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or fire up Peacock and watch a Royal Rumble from years past. Yes, touch grass too while you're on your retreat from the pressures of life, but hey, when it's raining in LA like it's Portland or Seattle, getting invested in these worlds doesn't sound like a bad idea. Until you take it too far. So, last week, our Hard Pass went to people who thought it would be a good idea to let out their frustration and inability to buy Kobe sneakers on Vanessa Bryant, just because she showed off some exclusives. It was gross, crass, and disgusting. And for those people who think they know the late Kobe Bryant better than his wife and family because Kobe would never, yeah, that needs to stop. Unfortunately, it didn't stop because this past week, Vanessa showed off another Nike Kobe for Pro Tro PE and got these people mad all over again. Like, why and for what? Look, I'll never claim to know Kobe, and I probably had more conversations with him than 99% of the people yelling at Vanessa online. I might have assumptions of what Kobe would have done had he stayed with Nike or left to do his own thing, but that's based on things we've talked about on this show and public moves he was making. I certainly would not say something like Kobe would never approve of Nike making an exclusive sneaker for his wife because it was too feminine. Like, think about how dumb that sounds. Think about it again and stop thinking about it altogether because it's so dumb. I don't want to harp on it too much again this week, but man, some people need to chill out. Like Xbox fans who might be feeling like the end is near. There's plenty of reporting coming out of the gaming world that Microsoft's Xbox division is planning a major pivot in strategy. According to The Verge and Xbox Era, major Bethesda releases like Starfield and the upcoming Indiana Jones and The Great Circle could be going multi-platform. This is on top of previous reports that Surprise hit Hi-Fi Rush and the years-old Sea of Thieves was dropping on PlayStation and Nintendo platforms sooner rather than later. After years of Xbox loyalists believing that the reason Microsoft was buying studios like Bethesda and Activision Blizzard was so that those games would become exclusive to their platform of choice, they are now facing the reality that that might not be the case. And they're not happy. Why? Because of console war bullshit. That's why. If you're watching this and wondering what console wars are, well, allow me to explain in sneaker terms. You know how there are people who only buy Nikes and Jordans and look down on people who buy anything else, and then there are people who don't buy Nikes and look down on people who do? It's like that, but replace Nike and Adidas with Xbox and PlayStation. Doesn't matter which. Meanwhile, Nintendo is Skechers and making bazillions of dollars, occupying lanes that Xbox and PlayStation both cater and don't cater to, but that's for another time. Let's focus on the Xbox and PlayStation beef. Since the launch of the Xbox in 2001, there have been people who have taken up the mantle of Xbox fan. They buy every console, support every exclusive, and cheer like maniacs whenever Xbox boss Phil Spencer gets on stage at E3 and announces that some hot game is only ever going to appear on Xbox. Remember the frenzy over the Xbox fridge? That's Xbox fandom in a nutshell. Just like there are sneaker influencers, there are gaming influencers who evangelize the Xbox. Before co-writer and I worked on Hard Pass, he was a game journalist who saw grown adults cry when new Halo or Gears of War would be revealed. I was at the intersection of gaming and sneakers a few years back when I would reveal custom Xboxes with Jordan brand artwork. We've both seen firsthand the passion of gamers who don't just game but are loyal to a platform. It's a cool place to be when everybody's happy and just enjoying the games. But then there's the segment of those gamers who despise PlayStation. Now, to be fair, there are some PlayStation-only gamers who scoff at people who like Xbox and Nintendo. They're kind of weird too, but let's focus on the Xbox kids because they're the ones going through it right now. Nothing breaks a console fanboy's heart more than hearing an exclusive on their platform will be playable somewhere else. PlayStation fans hated it when God of War 2018 and Marvel's Spider-Man showed up on PC. When the Nintendo platform bombs like the Wii U, their diehards brace for the inevitable Nintendo should just go third-party argument because they don't want to live in a world where Mario and Zelda might show up on Xbox or PlayStation. And now Xbox fans are bracing for a world where Halo and Gears, titles that have only ever appeared on Xbox platforms with the occasional PC port, might appear on the PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. Again, not every Xbox fan thinks this is a betrayal, but there's enough out there who express their displeasure to the point of creepiness that an intervention might be needed to calm them down and face the reality that Xbox needs to do this if Xbox is going to survive. In the three-horse race for console supremacy, Xbox is third, man, and that distance is only widening. After the success of the Xbox 360, the brand was in a great position to really compete and maybe even overtake PlayStation in the next generation. Then the Xbox One happened, and boy was that a mistake. From bungled messaging to lackluster exclusives, it was a struggle from launch. And they've been trying to dig themselves out of that hole ever since. Phil Spencer said that generation was the worst one to screw up because it was the first generation that really embraced digital sales. It's a slow process that's still going on today, but gamers are starting to move away from physical media and into digital. And because the PS4 won that generation, PlayStation fanatics and gamers who didn't give a shit about console wars but cared about the digital libraries moving on from one generation to the next had no choice but to run it back with the PS5. Xbox's counter to that? Game Pass, cloud gaming, and now porting Starfield over to PS5. Yeah, the Xbox Series X is a great console, and the Series S has given consumers the cheaper alternative. But the narrative, true or not, is that Xbox's library of exclusives doesn't stack up to PlayStation's. And the sales numbers have bore that out, and that's why they have to change course. Sure, it'll piss off the hardcore, but years from now, if Xbox has to release Elder Scrolls 6 on PS5 after a year of exclusivity on Xbox, open it up to cloud streaming on the next Nintendo Switch, and drop a PC port with all the visual upgrades and mods that entails in order to survive, they'll do it because they care less about console war bullshit and more about making money and expanding their audience. Don't ever forget, Xbox is under the Microsoft umbrella, and Microsoft is the software and service company first and foremost. Look, over 20 years ago, Sega bowed out of the console wars and became a third-party software developer. It broke a lot of gamers' hearts, co-writer included, but because he owned the original Xbox, the PS2, and the GameCube, it ultimately didn't matter to him because games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Jet Set Radio, Phantasy Star, and more would live on those platforms. Sega's story didn't end when Dreamcast died, just like Xbox won't die if they decide to let their babies roam elsewhere. They probably won't bow out of the console business as swiftly as Sega once did because Microsoft's market cap is $3 trillion on a bad day. But believe that no matter what happens in the next gen, there will be games under the Xbox banner. Whether that's as a first-party or third-party dev or a little bit of both, the story will continue. All this talk about stories not really ever ending is maybe something wrestling fans need to wrap their heads around. By the way, shout out to the people in the comments who say we need to time these recordings better because some of our wrestling commentary is out of date by the time the video goes live. Look, fair play, guys. We get it. But hey, sometimes we get the benefit of hindsight. Besides, the only thing we would have said last week was, damn, bet The Rock didn't see this coming. So, to quickly sum up what's going on, WWE fans are mad because they feel like their story is being hijacked by the former People's Champ. Cody Rhodes, a star that WWE has been building up for 2 years to take the championship from forever champ Roman Reigns, suddenly bowed out of the main event of their biggest night because The Rock felt like he needed to save said biggest night. A lot of calculations played into that decision. CM Punk's and Seth Rollins' injuries, Vince McMahon's horrifying scandal, and Brock Lesnar possibly being involved in said scandals. The Rock, who is now on the board of directors of the conglomerate that owns the WWE and the UFC and is in the midst of rehabbing his image after Black Adam made him look like the biggest jabroni ever, saw this as an opportunity to, let's say, save the day. To be fair, people have been asking for a Rock-Roman match for years now. The problem is that WWE booked Cody to win the Royal Rumble and had him point at Roman Reigns after winning said Rumble. Everybody still wants to see Rock Roman, but with Cody winning the Rumble, it could have been saved for another time, like next year's Mania, or preferably the idea we pitched last week, a one-match cinematic event on an island in Samoa to kick off the Netflix WWE deal in January 2025. But that meant people were locked in and were finally going to get the payoff to the Cody story they've been following for the past 2 years. But, with apologies to Charles Montgomery, Cody went out like a punk and just handed his spot over to Rocky. And that has people pissed. Like, so pissed off that "we want Cody" was a trending topic on socials this past weekend. So pissed that "Rocky sucks" was chanted at a wrestling show for the first time since 1997. So pissed that The Rock's daughter, a performer in WWE's developmental program, was getting death threats. So those first two parts are funny because nothing would be more hilarious to us than WWE going through with this match without any swerves and hearing 80,000 Philly fans chant "Rocky sucks" at WrestleMania. What isn't funny are those death threats. That's taking it to a level that the sneakerheads who weren't happy with Vanessa and gamers who are disappointed with Xbox didn't touch. That needs to be nipped in the bud right now. Somewhere, I bet the people booking this stuff are overjoyed at the response that this twist in the storyline has gotten. Well, maybe The Rock didn't anticipate "Rocky sucks" chants, but still, they have to be pumped about the fans being so passionate about Cody that they can use him as their top star for the rest of the decade. The death threats part? Not so much. It's not that serious, man. Cody will finish his story one way or another, and then he'll start a new one because that's how this all works. With 2 months to go, a twist in this story is coming that will either prove Rocky is self-aware or so dense that it's going to be magic when the boos rain down on him in Philly. And besides, if Mania doesn't go the way you want or the twist was a dud, don't worry because there's always something new down the pipeline. It's pro wrestling, the carniest of carnies. The hustle never ends. And please, for everybody's sake, chill out and don't take this too seriously. However, because it's The Rock and his once sterling record as a franchise savior is showing some big ass cracks, we got to get our jokes off. So here are some hypotheticals of Dwayne forcing his way into other famous IP, just so you can get an idea of how wild it is of what he's trying to pull off. Number 1, The Rock drinks the water and Saltburn. The "I'm Just Ken" song from Barbie? What if it was "I'm Just Rocky" written by Lin-Manuel Miranda? The ending of Shawshank Redemption? The Rock is the one sanding the boat. Okay, what about this one? Indiana Jones searches for the Dial of Destiny with his other son, Dwayne. Marvel recasts Drax with The Rock, takes Tony Stark's place and snaps Thanos. Jigsaw from the Saw movies? It's The Rock. Breathes new life to the Fast and Furious, makes a success about himself, stars in a spinoff that is universally panned, leaves for Black Adam, comes back after Black Adam tanks. Oh, wait, he actually, that one did happen. Announces both a live-action Moana and an animated Moana 2. Wait, that's happening too. Damn. How did Black Adam hurt you so much, Dwayne? I don't know. Yeah, I know Moana 2 has likely been in production years before Black Adam tanked, but it's still funny to think Rocky's doubling down on the best thing he's ever been a part of just so we can get people to like him again. And we like The Rock. Don't ever mistake this for a show that is anti-Rocky. We just think the best Rocky is, in no particular order, Nation of Domination Rock, Corporate Champ Rock, and 2003 Hollywood Rock. Just a slight turn to the heel, and he's back, baby. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we leave you with a viewer Hard Pass.
Hey, Jacques, great show. My hard pass is this. Please stop butchering the word. It's ochre. Ochre. It's like Joker without the J. Ochre. It represents earth tones. It's yellow ochre, red ochre, orange ochre, brown ochre. Ochre. Thank you.
I say it right. It's Ocre. Ocre? Ocre. Ocre. Accra. I don't know. If you'd like to be possibly featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right. I'll see you next week. Peace. Ocre. 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 Like LaCroix. LaCroix. I don't know what it is. All right. Peace.